There's not, and we can have the evidence. All of the documentation shows he won.
But what's the evidence?
There's a lot.
Like
There's
what?
A lot. Well, there's a lot.
But which one thing?
There's so much. I can't. Everything I have. Too much trust. There's a lot of evidence. All the documentation shows you guys that election was stolen.
But what one thing?
There was a lot of elections stolen. Okay, bottom line.
But did you say one piece of evidence?
Like I said, if you have any other questions, you can ask them. I got no more. Okay. So you take that mic, go shining where to shine.
Okay.
Coming from a galaxy near you, this is Brothers in Booze. And here are your hosts, Greg Washington and Doug Ziegler.
Welcome to Brothers in Booze.
What an opening. Clearly that video got you sparked into putting something in your glass already, man. What is it that you are starting the show with tonight, sir?
Something that you're familiar with?
Oh, yeah. From Maine.
Okay. An English pub ale. 4.2%. Drinking like 7 or 8. Full body. It's not thin at all. It's not thin in flavor.
Nope.
I mean, I can see it's dark here.
Yeah.
It drinks like a full-throated ale. But outside of that, there's really not much going on with it. It's a simple, bready, nice and crisp little pub ale.
Yeah.
Okay. Fun.
Yeah, I think they made it true to the kind of English pub style. That's why I kind of enjoyed that one.
Yeah. I mean, it's sneakishly sessionable, but at the same time, I feel I can only have one or two. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So it fills you up, but not, you ain't gonna get blasted.
No.
I mean, you might after 7, but
Yeah.
So thanks, Doug. That was a nice one. I like it.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's a good question, Mr. Tepper. I don't know. I have one of those in my fridge downstairs still, and I gave Greg one, so I'm not really sure.
Don't say. Wait, hold on. Y'all pushing me. I need my damn glasses. I'm like Velma now. I don't see it here, Tepper. Hold on, working on it. No. Sorry. It's got a lot of info, but the hops isn't one of them.
Okay.
We tried.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, though.
Yeah.
we all have our crosses to bear, Jeff. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with something we had at Barrel and Flow, which we'll get to later. I really, really enjoyed this, and we actually had this at brunch. Was the smoked lager, which was from Attic Brewing out of Germantown, PA. So this was super duper good. Jeff, this is right up your alley, man. Smoked lager. Lager's your style, and you like smoked beers. So, and I poured it in my fancy Barrel and Flow cup that I got.
Yay! For smoked lager. All right.
Yeah, so that's pouring pretty hefty, and I didn't even pour that super aggressively. So that's got a lot of. I'm gonna let that sit for a second before I taste that. So
let that sit for a second. Jerry is a smoked beer guy for real.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Me too. I mean,
I like them, and it's funny, like. And I think that kind of speaks to my love of like Scotch and the peatiness is like I like that sort of smoky peaty flavors.
Of course.
So yeah.
Yes, sir.
No. It's just so good because that smoke is like all throughout the whole like sometimes you just get it on the front. And, no, it's right through the whole tasting process. So really good lager. So it's super super drinkable. I'm trying to see what the ABV on this guy is. I don't know that it has it. This is actually a collab from Attic and Two Locals Brewing. I don't know where Two Locals is out of. And they don't have the ABV on here, but I can't imagine.
Philly.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's terribly high, being a lager. But man, is it good! It's like I said, it's super good. Yeah, campfire kind of beer, that kind of thing. So yeah, cheers.
Mm. I see, Jeff. I would dispute this because there are very few smoked beers that I don't like, and I even like the over smoked ones, like the
Me
ones
too.
that people think are horrible.
Yeah,
I love them. So
the ones that are like
I don't know, Jeff. We should
Skrilenka.
test it out one time.
Yeah, that like Skrilenka one that's out in is it Germany or I think it's Germany.
Yeah. Oh, look who's joined us.
April, our pal. Welcome.
We hung out all.
No. Nah, that's bad.
That's sad. I left mine in my Airbnb. I left one of mine at the Airbnb. But
Okay,
that's
well,
it.
April could go
And,
back to the Airbnb and pick it up and take it over.
and two New Glarus IPAs too. I thought y'all were gonna take them, and
No, I just took
left
the
them.
one. I didn't know who. I thought you had them earmarked for something else, but
Nope.
yeah. So yeah.
Nope.
Hmm.
What's up, fishes?
That's our guy Victor. So
Oh yeah.
Schlinkla. That's the name. I always fuck that up when I try.
April, you'll get one next year. Right?
Ta-da!
Right.
Yep.
She says
Yep.
yes, we'll do. She wasn't talking about what I said though, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that up there to put the pressure on it.
Yes. So
All right, dog. Before we get into everything, we have a bit of housekeeping, y'all. Real quick. Dog, we have some not nice news, unfortunately.
no, unfortunately,
For the for our past guest news, we have our friend. We were talking about our friend and friend of the show, Miss Lee Ann Wong. This is the first thing I got about this real quick to get her up. She lost. Y'all remember she was talking about her restaurants. Unfortunately, she lost one of her restaurants in the fire, as y'all can see.
Yeah, I think we've all seen the fire stuff from Hawaii, and unfortunately, her restaurant was in one of the neighborhoods that was hit. So,
yeah, and so yeah, there's an article out here, y'all. Let me put it up real quick. If y'all want to search for it, it looks like it's on ET. Leanne Wong lost the restaurant and volunteers to cook meals for shelters. So yeah, she's not taking this one sitting down, obviously.
yeah,
And she has jumped on here to be part of the help and the recovery of the island. So right here we have Doug is nicely brought up here. Doug, whenever you want to send that, let's start that.
You want me to play it?
Yeah, let everybody hear what's up, what Leon's up to, and all that.
Hopefully the volume works. So here we go.
Yeah, it should work.
Hey everybody, Sheldon's in the back making it rain cheese currently, and I know all of our friends in Ohana on the other islands, the outer islands, want to help. See how they can help. Right now, again, we are not looking to take visitors to Maui or anybody fly over here necessarily. We are trying to save all our available space and housing for those who have been displaced. However, chefs, farmers, vendors, this is how you can help us. Our volume numbers keep increasing every day. And so what you guys can do is go ahead and make food over there on your islands, in your kitchens, freeze them and ship them right to here at the college. We are looking for hearty, nutritious stews, basically things that we can heat and serve And again, these are things, we don't need any hot food. We need you guys to be able to make the food, freeze it, send it to us so we can literally heat and serve. We are looking for minimums of 200 pounds of processed, finished stews, soups, etc. And again, you can ship that right here to Chef Hui at UHMC, University of Hawaii Maui College. Go online to chefhui.com and fill out the donation form so we can start organizing, making sure that we have a schedule of preparation and delivery so we're not sitting on food. Yeah, please, thank you guys so much. We are pumping out so much food every day, and we're here to help the community. Let's feed the people, Maui. Cheers.
Yeah, so call to action there for chefs. But there is also, she mentioned in a few things before we get to the other bit, but she did mention that 90% of her staff lost all of their stuff. 90% of her staff lost everything in fires. So she did say that she was able to confirm that all of her staff was accounted for and safe, as were their families, which is super important because there was, I don't know if you heard, but like they had alerts to send the kids home because of the fires to try to keep them safe in their houses. And unfortunately, they were home when the fires came through. So a lot of young kids passed away from the fire. So it's a terrible situation. So we stopped a bit, we talked a bit about her having two restaurants, one on Maui and then the other on Oahu, I believe. So the other restaurant actually put up a fundraiser for the staff of the restaurant that, all of her members, 90% of the people there lost everything. They're having some good success with this. They've already raised $115,000. It's a $225,000 goal. That sounds like a lot of money. It isn't when you're trying to house people and get them food and clothes and all sorts of things because they've lost basically everything. There is a link that we'll hopefully be able to post up here at some point. So, or I'll put it in the comments over here. But if you want to donate, obviously this is a really good cause because those folks need all the help they can get because they're on an island. They don't have a lot of resources at their disposal. That's the other thing too. They're not in the mainland, so they have to have everything kind of shipped to them. So, if you can help, that would be wonderful.
All right. I think we covered that pretty well, though.
Yeah. I'm going to put this over in the comments in the Beer for All group for the link if anybody wants to utilize it.
Yep, and y'all see it there if y'all can
Yep.
spell all that.
Yep. So I just copied and pasted there. That way people can copy and paste it if they want to contribute. So, our group is always pretty good about helping out each other. And, Leanne was nice enough to come on our show. She's a much bigger person than as far as like celebrity that we are, but she gave us 45 minutes of her time in a super busy schedule. And if we could give her some help, that would be great.
Great. And for that, we'll
round of applause.
Yes. And now we'll do this, Doug.
Cheers.
Cheers. Let's talk about where we were last weekend.
Do you want me to kick it off? Yeah. All right. So as you all know, we went to Barrel and Flow last weekend. Got to stay with Greg and his family. That was great because they're always awesome. But I will tell you, as usual, the whole experience is just great. You go in, you have the panels Friday. I got there early enough that I could go to a couple of the breweries that were having small events on Thursday night. Trace Brewing and Vellum was the other one. Trace Brewing was really cool. They had a fantastic food truck outside. But then Friday, you and I went over to and did our thing with the panels. Yeah. What was your favorite thing about the panels before we get into the beer?
Funky Town.
Yeah, that was like the podcast at the end of it.
Yeah, with Day and Ed. That's a great podcast.
Mhm.
Funky Town. I don't know. I love them. They're great. You already know.
Mhm.
Coming to Wisconsin, I'm excited about that. I don't know, man. It was good. The panels were good, man. There was a lot of things, like focus for breweries, but
Mhm.
I really enjoyed that one about. I think the one about burnout was very, very relevant to a lot of people.
Mhm.
That was really a good one. Um, and then yeah, we were all coming in basically, hung out with Nigel a little bit during those breakout sessions there. Yeah.
And our guy Jerry commenting there. So yeah, it was good to see Jerry. That's the first time I ever met him in person. So I was super happy about that.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, last year was delayed. Yo,
Mhm.
Jerry, we still want you on the Oktoberfest show, man. So
Yeah,
confirm that, please, if
if you
you're
can.
down. Yeah.
Yeah. And I will say the panel that I probably enjoyed the most, besides the podcast one, that was just fun. But the one that you were in the burnout one. I was in the other
Yeah.
one, which was about the National Black Brewers Association,
Yes, sir.
and that was a full house. That and the Dr. J one was really full, but I went to both of those. But the National Black Brewers Association, MB2A, as they want to be known, um,
Yes, sir.
that was interesting because they had some of their board there, including Ale Sharpton,
Mhm.
Chris from Green Bench out of Fort Fort Lauderdale,
Mhm.
Florida, somewhere Florida.
Mhm. Mhm.
And one of their other guys was Kevin Johnson, former NBA point guard, which I
Yes.
looked at that guy when he was talking. I was like, hey, man, that guy looks a lot like Kevin Johnson. And that's who it
It
was.
was because it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah.
And he's the owner of, do you remember?
It's one in Arizona. It's like Oak Creek or something like that. So yeah, he's actually one of the few, like they had asked the question, how many of you own brick and mortar places? And there was like 3 people that raised their hand. And all of the us were contract brewers. So it's a big thing. They're making a really concerted effort to try to help black brewers get their own spots, to give them the resources they need to, further what they want to do. They also announced Black is Beautiful version 2.
Mhm.
I think Matt Pressbury's talking about Kevin Johnson.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Mayor,
no.
yeah, Mayor. Well, he was a mayor. No, it wasn't. Was it Sacramento? He was a mayor somewhere. Maybe he was. Um, yeah, Oak Park was the. That's what I thought. You're right. Yeah, I
Mm.
think mayor in Sacramento. But anyway,
I know nothing about him but besides the hoops.
yeah,
I
yeah.
know nothing.
So
Literally.
I have no idea what his tenure was like as a mayor. So he could have been a shitty mayor. I mean, look at the fucking dude from New York City. Why does New York City keep electing dumbass mayors? Like
Well, what are you talking about? They had Rudy Giuliani,
Rudy Giuliani. Uh,
Mike Bloomberg. What are you talking
what's
about?
what's this recent guy? Fucking, he was talking about outside eating. He was like, yeah, maybe you're looking for a hookup. You slide somebody your number on the
Oh,
street.
what
I'm
was
like,
that guy's name? De Blasio.
no, no, no. I'm talking about Adams. His last name is Adams, I think.
Oh, the one now is
Yeah,
Adams. Yeah, we've had a rich history of fuckery there, for sure,
yeah.
and fuck shit.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So Matt Pressbury has a reason for this, and I just
Put it up there.
basically, apparently he was part of like charter school stuff. Eric Adams. Thank you, Matt Pressbury. That was the guy's name. I could not remember his first name.
Yeah, he's the current mayor of Gotham.
Got
Right?
anyway, yeah, true, true. So
Right.
anyway, the Black is Beautiful 2 one, they're going to do an IPA this time, but they also mentioned that if you're not an IPA house, if you don't make IPAs, you can make some other derivative and they're going to be okay with it.
Oh, wait. Specifically, hazy IPAs.
That's true. Yeah. Hazy IPA.
Right. Right. Because if you slap hazy IPA on any beer, it's going to sell out, even if that beer is a stout.
Yep. Well, you remember it was like the stouts was for the first one. We saw black IPAs and all kinds of stuff that wasn't.
Right. But like hazy IPAs, in my opinion, chose because what do you
Fucking April coming in hot.
ah, I mean, I don't. I listen. I'll drink all the hazy IPAs. I'm good with that. But I understand sentiments like this. Period. And I was actually kind of talking about that a little bit because again, part of the problem I think is the marketing of these things, and people just slap hazy IPA on anything, and then it doesn't even have to be fucking hazy. It's kind of ridiculous. So, um, yeah. Oh, West Coast IPAs. I know April was when we were at Necromancer. April was like, I had a nice West Coast piney IPA. She was all happy.
Yeah.
Like, like they're like an endangered species.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of are. She's not wrong, but like,
Yeah.
she was all enjoying it. Like, some people are just not down with the fads, and obviously, April is as a brewer, not only knows the fads, she knows what sells, she knows what people want. So yeah. Um, well, we already know. We already know. We
Mhm.
already know. In
Yep.
fact, tonight we'll have a guest at some point, y'all. He's a little late, but it's fine because we told him to be a little late because we got stuff to talk about tonight before he gets here. But with that being said, I want actually let's, if you don't mind, Doug, let's jump into or no. We didn't you didn't finish going through everything about
Yep.
Baron Flow. I'm sorry.
Yep.
So yeah, we
So
had the first day, which was the um the
breakout
first day was
session.
Friday.
Yeah.
Friday we call
Yeah.
the first day. Actually, Doug started like he said the night before. On Thursday there's events, so there's events leading up to it. Then we had Friday during the day. That's when we met our girl April. She jumped in. She got a flight, came in. We were hanging out pretty much all day. Then we went to dinner. Oh yeah, we went to Necromancer.
For dinner. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was great. That was a cool little spot. And then obviously the bottle share was just fucking fantastic. Like, talk about just a plethora of beer and any kind you could want to try. All of it was there. And yeah, it was awesome. And yeah, and there was food there, obviously. So the food at Necromancer was fucking superb. It was like East African food out of a food truck. God, that shit was awesome.
It was pretty damn good. And I was skeptical because there was a lot of coconut on there. But
And it wasn't coconutty. That was the thing, and I know why. That's why you didn't get that, but it was really good. So,
no, it's cool.
yep.
I didn't even remember to even ask y'all for a taste. I missed that. It was my part.
Yeah,
But
you were eating that awesome beef
uh,
shit. That shit was delicious too. Because
but yeah, or you on? I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say that leads us into Saturday. So Jeff was asking about what our favorite beers were. I mean, there was a million things to try. So
Whoa, wait, yeah, hold on. We can't just go into Friday yet or Saturday yet. Yeah, here's the IPAs are dominating scene. Black IPAs, Black is Beautiful were great. I agree. Somebody just got off the train.
that's Roberto.
Cool. Let's see. We could let's shelve this conversation for a little bit here. Yeah, that we had amazing food in Necro. Yep. I'm so unintentionally funny.
And Matt knows.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than not being funny at all.
True.
Right. I don't have to intend it. It's good. I'm smooth like that. Something like that. Anyway, Doug. So you can't forget to talk about, Doug, real quick, what happens on Friday night, which is the epic bottle share.
Yep.
So you
Okay, well, like I said, it's just the DJ was fucking great. Like, just the people, there was loads of people out there dancing on the dance floor, just like so many freaking bottles of beer. It was just it's just a crazy little shindig that everybody just gets along, has a fucking great time. It's a blast. Like, that's how I see it. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
yeah, and people just walk around, and now that we've been there a couple times, we have our friends, and I don't know. I hang out with the cool kids. Luckily, they let me hang out with them. I don't get kicked out like I did in high school. And it was great hanging around our friends. Yeah, it's just it's in the ballroom of the hotel, y'all. And
Yeah.
they just have people in the back opening cans. You bring your can or your bottle there. You just walk up. Also, other people like April, take their own beer. If you're making their own beer, they bring it around, make sure that their friends taste it. April had one of the best beers that I tasted was that fermented pineapple drink mixed with beer
Hmm.
was fantastic, and I wasn't the only one. And then April, did you have April's cornbread beer?
I
That
did.
shit was tight. That
That was
shit was
tight. Yes.
tight. Yes, it was. And there was another one that April had too that was pretty damn good, and I forget. April bought some
we had we
bangers.
had we had a few beers that night, so it might have.
Yeah, I remember the two. There was a third one there going around. Um, yeah, I was pouring for I was proud of you, April. I really love that. Again, that pineapple one was such a nice, light drinker. It was kind of like Radler-ish, but you could still like, unlike a Radler, you could still taste that it was a beer. Sometimes Radlers really go into that like lemonade area where you're like, damn, is this a beer? Hers was still a beer. Um, yeah, that was a bottle party. Yep, yep, yep. Definitely lived up to the hype. Uh, it was rough going into the festival. Yes,
That
it
was
was.
that's our guy Alex.
Yes, it was. It always, man, that juggle between the night before, which is the bottle share, and then getting up and going to the festival. Yeah. And it was a beer, cider, mead, spirit share. Yeah. I didn't have, oh, yeah, I had some spirits. Yep. I like Rattlers too. I just say sometimes they could be a little
Oh, aggressive on the
there's a
lemon.
range there. Yeah, aggressive lemoner. Um, yeah, that pineapple beer was fire, and I'm a fruit hater for the most part. Yep, 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 yep. So yeah, so we have that. So then the next day, and the bottle share goes to, I don't know. We left at like 11. We were like, oh, we're out of here.
Yeah.
And there were people still there drinking, having a good time. But we did the VIP that started at noon. So Doug and I, old asses, had to retreat and
Sure.
and, and recover. Unlike the young bucks, who knows how long they were there. But so the next day is the festival day, y'all. And the next day literally started with controversy and ended with controversy. So for the first time ever, I mean, there's been controversy before. In fact, the year that I missed out, there was a big controversy because apparently there was some racist things going on with one of the vendors or something, and there's a whole bunch of things. So the starting with controversy, y'all, is that like, so there's a VIP from noon to 2, and you can pay more, you get a t-shirt, get all kinds of swag, and you get to go into the event early, so you can, like, people like to go there when no one's there, and or little people are there, and check out the layout, see where everybody's working, try to jump in on some early ones and all that. The problem is that they restricted us this year to like a little area that had like probably like 5 or 6 breweries. It had Uncle Nearest. It
Yeah, they had
had
Uncle Nearest there.
food, had a nice tent, water, had everything we needed, but it restricted us from going out to the broader festival. And people were feeling some kind of way. We've heard people say we were being held hostage. We've heard people say we were cattle. We heard people say we were being quarantined. We heard people say, and all these people are the ones that we hung out with, dog. What the fuck
They
is
were all,
going
they
on?
were all, and I was like, that's like it's a science experiment. And you're like, what? I'm like, yeah, they're just seeing how we react to this.
Right. It was funny because everybody was kind of in their feelings because they felt like, contained. And in previous years, we would just like let go. So I guess, I don't know, something was going on, whether it be permits or something was going on. So yeah, it was time to make close friends.
That's for sure.
The waiting room experiment. The comments were fun. The comments were fun. So
Yeah.
we had a great day. The VIP food was amazing. Shout out to our friend Brianna.
Yep.
She did a dope job. I forgot that food was there like until like 2, Doug. I would have came back thinking about it. It was really good. And It was really up a step from the previous year. I thought the whole VIP scene, they did a good job there. So then, we just go to Barron Flow and, walked around, had a great time. Vendors everywhere, food places, just everything. It was just great. It was just really, really great. So as the evening rolled around, um, started to get dark, y'all. Started to rain. It was just raining and raining, and it wasn't really like pouring down rain. It was just really more like a drizzle.
Yeah.
Then the lightning moved in, and then a downpour here. We're talking like 6:37 ish. So at some point, the word came out that we had to shut down at 7:30. Apparently, though, Doug. Now this none of this is official, but I was told on Sunday that um that there was never a word to get down to shut down. It was that there was an advisory till 7:30. It wasn't that we should shut down. So the shutdown message kind of got mixed in with the chaos.
Yeah.
But Barron Flow ended up shutting down 7:30, when normally Barron Flow goes to 9.
Yep.
So I heard that through one of the people. I'm not going to say his name, but you can pretty much narrow it down as one of the people that runs the event. Said on Sunday that there was big miscommunications going on at that crazy time, and for some reason they couldn't get a mic set up. Um,
For the
some
whole thing.
logistics thing, yeah, there was logistics problems, so they wanted to get on the mic and say, "Look, if you want to stay, y'all can stay at your own
Risk.
risk at this point." And that includes the vendors and the brewers. So anybody who wants to stay can stay. If you feel safe, please leave. And we're not taking any responsibility for anybody who stays. So they were actually trying to keep it going, Doug, I believe, but somehow that got turned into everybody shut down. So everybody shut down. So Barron Flow started and ended in controversy. But I don't care. It was a great day. I had a good time. It was good enough for me. Doug and I were tired enough. We were even thinking we had a little glimmer of hope. We're like, hey, we're leaving early. Let's go to the after party. And then we got back to the Airbnb and we're like, what after party? What are you talking about? And we just
you sat on the porch and fucking had beers. I'm like,
we just sat on the porch and had some beers. Yeah, our Airbnb has this nice long porch, y'all, that like looked down on this like kind of busy street. So busy that you heard like the sirens and things at night right from the windows there if you were facing out there. So it was really nice, like people watching. Sometimes people walk by. There's a cemetery right across the street. So then people would scream up and down the street. And we would just sit there and just watch and BS on there. And it was really nice. It had like this, even when it rained, the rain couldn't really get to you. So we could sit there. So like I lost April at the end for sure. There's something else. They really are.
They're entertaining, that is for sure.
They're something else. They really are.
Yeah.
But so that's my wrap up for today, Doug. Do you have anything to add about the day of?
Well, the day of, no, I mean, it was great. I do think maybe we should talk a bit about things that we really like beer wise. Jeff was asking about that. So, trying to think of a couple of standouts. I mean, my favorite thing personally was that our guy Imani Powell and his Melanated Mash Makers. That's the group, Melanated Mash Makers.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a BIPOC homebrewers club that he runs. Collaborated with Attic Brewing out of Germantown, that's the smoked lager. And they made a Belgian golden ale with lemon zest and basil that I thought was just fucking delicious. That was so good. That was my favorite thing there. And I had a lot of really good stuff there, but that thing that was the one that kind of really blew me away. April's talked about, she liked the verb saison, which she's a saison person too. So, but yeah, that was very good. I liked the Crowned and Hopped key lime sour that they had. but that was apparently at the previous Barrel and Flow, but I missed it. I didn't see it. So, yeah.
All three of these. All three of these.
Yep, the Tapache blonde, the cornbread, and Uncle Nearest Belgian blonde.
Yeah, and I had Uncle Nearest. That all of them were damn good, April. I'm not just saying that because you're my friend.
Yep, that stuff was banging. So
really, that stuff was banging. April stuff was one of my favorite stuff there. I don't think I had any of. I don't think I even made it to max 10. Oh no, I did.
You did right at the start. Remember?
Oh yeah, and I had their collab. I had their collab. Okay.
Yeah, and then well, the collab was a cocktail, and it was a lemongrass honey ale that he has. It's like a fucking 14% beer. So you walk in, and that was like one of the first things we walked into. I had their last Mohicans, which was very good.
Last Mohican is great.
And then right in that same line was Smidox, which I've never met Smitty in person, so that was cool to meet him. His beers were good. I bought a T-shirt from him, so I was pretty happy about that because I love his gear. So yeah, it was really good. It was nice to see him. So we're hopeful that we can get him on here too because that guy's fucking funny as shit. So, I'm trying to think what else. I mean, like I said, there was a million things. What was funny was last year, the one that was kind of surprising me was Brick Terranium Beer Hut is that one that makes a fucking high ABV shit that's like braggots and all that stuff. And I had their one that was like 21%, and it was so friggin' sweet. I thought my teeth were gonna fall. And I was like, and April had it with me, and she's like, nope. And we both just dumped it.
April is not. April, if we say this wrong, please correct us. We'll put it up. But April's not a fan of big ABV beers generally.
I don't think so.
From what I got. Now she can clarify herself.
Yep, she
agreed. Sure. Was that yep for me or was that yep just?
I think that's for the high ABV stuff you were talking about.
Okay. But yeah, and I don't know, some of them are really off-putting, really sweet. And it's hard to really nail a high ABV one. But this guy here,
Max
yeah, his high ABV stuff is just really sick.
He's a fucking wizard with that shit.
How good he does that. Yes, absolutely. Yep, not for ABV. Yep. So then the next day, Doug, I don't know, Doug and I were cool. We had other beers, so we just left Fire and Flow. Was able to get really a lift out of there pretty quickly, and it was really nice how all that worked.
Yep.
And got back and just chilled, and then in the morning we went to the brunch. And
which was good fun. This time.
Well, yeah.
The food the previous year was a little meh, but this year I thought the food was actually pretty good.
Yeah. And really keeping it clean. I don't think anybody goes there for the food, even though I mean we all need breakfast.
Yeah.
But it's really about that last networking area where you can meet people, solidify friendships, see people that you didn't really get to talk to. Like I didn't get to talk to A.L. Sharpton. I saw him there a little bit, and then he left, or I left, or something happened. But anyway, you can really solidify a lot of relationships, have fun, still drink a little beer.
Had a couple little samples. That's where I got this. That was the first time I tried that. It was the smoked lager, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's good!" And I tracked down Amani. I said, "Hey, man, not to be a pain in the ass, but do you have any more of that smoked lager? That was delicious." He's like, "Yeah, man." So he handed me one, and that was,
Missed that part.
Yep.
Oh well. So then after that, Doug, there's a tradition with some of the brewers that they go to Burgers over here in Pittsburgh, which is a brewery, and they also friends of the festival. They're at every Bar and Flow that I've been at Burgers, and they usually have a collab. So we went there, and that was fun, and that's where some of that conversation. And I heard a whole bunch of things that I probably shouldn't have heard about the festival, and like ins and outs of what's going on. And then I also heard politics as far as the new Brewers Association and listening to the brewers talk about the different concerns, what's what they face as black brewers as opposed to the things I hear from their white counterparts. Because y'all know, I'm around a lot of brewers and I know a lot of brewers, and so I hear kind of a lot of the same things, but there are some definitely different things there. And it was just really good to shut up and just listen to the brewers talk. And I had a good time. Then I went to 11th Element, which is another brewery there. And
Mhm.
actually, Doug, I'm gonna leave you for a second so I can go grab my second beer, which is from 11th Element. I'll
Yeah,
be
I have a second one too. So, but yeah, 11th was also at Barrel and Flow. I don't know if I tried any of their beers, um, but yeah, it's trying to think if I had theirs. I don't recall. I don't think I did. I got a sticker from them, and that I know. But and there were lots of stickers. If you're a sticker person, which my wife is, and I actually get them so I can put them on my beer fridge downstairs. So I'm kind of slowly working on that. But yeah. So 11th, what was 11th Element? Is that what it was called, Greg?
the 11th hour, and
11th
I
Hour.
got their I think it's a Kolsch. Is it a Kolsch? Kolsch, yes. Called Archer. Uh, had it in there. It's right up the street from Burgers. It's probably like, I don't know, a block and a half from Burgers.
Hmm.
So got a ride to Burgers. Then we ended up at 11th hour. And I grabbed this 4-pack of Kolsch. Nice crisp Kolsch. As you can see, it's very, very, you can see right through it. It's light.
Mm-hmm.
It's a perfect Kolsch. Crisp at the end, light drinker. Just fantastic. So I picked up one of those because it's easy to do.
How does it compare to Kid Kolsch?
It's up there. They're
Okay.
close.
Okay.
They're close.
I
Yep.
figured if you picked up a 4-pack of a Kolsch, that had to be pretty high up there. Yeah.
Yep, it was. Yeah, April. I sent you a note, and by the time that April got to me, I was back with my family.
Yeah.
I was even later afternoon. I mean, they didn't pick me up until like 4ish or something. So yeah, send you the link to get on.
I will get
Roberto?
you. I got you, Roberto.
Yeah.
I'm sending it over there to you now because he didn't get the StreamYard link. We didn't send it to him.
We did, but
Yeah,
whatever.
well, we'll send it again. I just did. So anyway,
that's it. So yeah, Archer, really good one. If you're in Pittsburgh, 11th hour. Like tucked back in an alley, but a nice little spot.
nice.
Y'all check it out. Check it out.
So my second is actually one you gave me that I cannot get where I am. And it would be New Glarus IPA, which apparently is new this year, right? They just started making this, correct?
Yes, he doesn't like making IPAs.
No.
Nope.
Yeah. So in my IPA glass that you like because it's fun. But that's whoosh. So check that out. Dirty Glass Gang.
Hey, Chris. Yeah.
You smell that hops right on the nose there, though. Let's see how this goes.
Ale Sharpton. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that is very much a Greg beer.
Not that much, actually. I wasn't a big fan of it.
Yeah, it's
Actually, that's an April Dove beer, by the way.
yes, April.
I hope she got that's a West Coast style.
Mm-hmm.
He calls it Midwest. It's West Coast. It's piney.
Yep, very much
Oh
so.
hell. It's assertive hoppy wise, but it's a decent drinker. It's definitely not my favorite. In fact, it's one of my least favorite Glarus beers. Just saying.
Yeah, it's just something you gave it to me, and because it's an IPA, I wanted to drink it as fresh as possible. So like I said, if you're looking for an IPA, yeah, okay, it got you there. But this is
It's
not
an
something-
IPA.
it's not something I would reach for to get again. Like there's a tons of other New Glarus beers I'd rather have. Like
Yeah,
that
like Kid Kolsch. What the
King
fuck?
Kolsch or that strawberry rhubarb one they have. It's a strawberry rhubarb one. Don't they have that? That thing is.
Strawberry rhubarb, strawberry.
I had one of
raspberry
those, and I was
tart,
that strawberry
Yes.
rhubarb one. If I could have had a case of that, I
Belgian
would have bought.
red.
Oh,
Yeah, they just have so many. Their list of bangers is out of control. So, um, yeah, Doug. So it looks like we have a guest this week.
oh, do we finally? Holy moly!
Yeah.
Well, those people are probably tired of hearing you and I blab on. So
I don't know. This is our biggest audience we've had in a long ass time, Doug. So
yep.
the facts
Well,
below
we'll see.
you.
We'll see.
And once we bring our guests on, it can only go downhill from here. So it's his fault.
Oh,
It's the truth. It's the truth. I'm just saying. Pretty proud of our numbers looking up there. Pretty happy about all that.
mhm.
So, yeah. So we have a charity event coming up. We actually may have a few charity events coming up. Y'all.
Yep.
But we will have to hold off on those details because we're still working on them. Vague booking, sorry, but exciting, fun. But the one we did last year, y'all, 40 for 40 race with our friend Roberto Santiago, was very successful in all of our eyes. Any more money can be given to charity, is a great thing. Any more awareness given to said charities is a great thing because there's an awareness aspect of it, right, Doug?
Agreed.
Because some people don't know. Unfortunately, right before we bring Roberto on, I have to say, I don't think I'll be able to run this year. I don't know if I'll be able to get doctor's clearance because of my leg issue that I was in the hospital for one day about 3 weeks ago or something done. So I'm fine, y'all. They had, they had to make sure shit was good, and they did. And they did it at the cost of like $700. But well, medical bills, dog. What the fuck you gonna do about them, right?
Pay $50 a month. That's what you're gonna do. That's what I do. I have
Right.
tons of them. I had tons of them still 2 years later. So yeah,
$50 a month. Okay.
I just say this is what I can afford. Like, great, you're paying something. That's something that means we don't have to throw it into collections and all that shit.
Right. Oh, he's a legend here.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. He's a legend, period. But clearly on this stream, he's a legend. So without further ado, we're gonna bring him back because I actually, Doug, we haven't done this math, but I'm pretty sure once he hits the screen, he will definitely be the most appeared guest in history.
All right, do we have to put him? No. Yes, we do.
So for some reason, I don't know, that deserves an award. Maybe we'll send him like spam or something. I don't know. But being the most he is, right? No one has been on this stream.
Not even close.
As a guest, not a co-host.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Lauren. If you're out there, you're disqualified. Even though Lauren was on like 3 times as a guest though. But yeah. Is Berto once a month? Running
up to 40 to 40, yes.
All right. Well, without further ado, we'll bring him out of our fabulous green room that has no snacks, no massages, no comfort, but it has us. So that's why. Oh. Okay.
That's your reward.
Oh, he won that. Does he really need an award? Actually, let's ask him that. Without further ado.
Sorry. I was having snacks. You said there were no snacks, but they're snacks. They're delicious.
Did you pour beer in it like our guy Manny?
I'm not pouring beer in the nuts. That's not what beer nuts are.
Are you sure?
No.
What's up, Roberto? How you doing?
What's up, man?
You guys, I'm a disaster. That's how I'm doing. How are you?
Well, welcome. We're all disasters here, so it's great.
No, I know. Like lightning, thunder, getting thrown out of beer festivals, like
We didn't get thrown out. We left because we're old. There's a difference.
Mhm.
leaving beer festivals because you're old, throwing yourself out of beer festivals.
That's fair.
Mhm.
You know,
Taking ourselves out voluntarily.
nice. Like just old
Right.
yellering your own self.
I'm going home.
Oh my
Right.
God.
Right. So
No, so here's what happened. Like we put all these dates on the calendar and everything like 40 for 40 related is disappeared from my calendar. I don't know if it was sabotage. I don't know if it was user error. I can't say, but I know that like it's all gone. And so like everything's catching me by surprise right now. The last 2 months have been like absolute like end of summer, like family, wall to wall, nonstop nonsense. And so I feel very discombobulated. And like the semester starts where I work on Monday. I thought it's going to be a whole other, you know, thing.
clusterfuck.
The run up to the semester is very very hectic, and this like the week before the semester is wild. I don't know if people out there know what I do. I'm in disability services at a university, and like students are students. They're young adults who put things off a lot of the time, and so when you need accommodations, sometimes when you're like 19, you don't think about that until 2 days before school starts. When you're an instructor and you have summers off and you don't have to read your email until the week before school starts, sometimes you don't read your email till the week before school starts. And you're like, how am I supposed to implement this with just a week to go? And we're like, yeah, we have the same question. That's why we emailed you 2 months ago. Or it's, I wish I'd known about this earlier. I do too, but the student didn't tell us until yesterday. So now we're telling you. And now, we're all in the same boat. So it's been hectic. So I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm here and I'm happy to be here with you guys.
And
Yeah,
do
we're
you
glad
have a
you're here.
beer?
I do. So I stopped by the store. Like again, this is just mad dash time for me. So like I got off.
So par for the course every time you come on. This is how it works.
No, come on. Sometimes I prep. Like the last time I went to the store at lunch because I was working from home that day, and I went to the
day
store
of, I went at lunch. Huh?
at lunch. But I was looking for anchors because that was the day that Anchor was like, we're closing forever. Bye. So I went to go find anchors. I was like, are they closing because they don't distribute their beers? How come I can't find anything? This is frustrating. So I had to go to like 3 different places. Exactly. Yeah, that was like the first iPhone app I ever had was that sad trombone. I could just play that for people. So today, Mad Dash, I get off the train, right? I'm like listening to you guys start the show, and I jump off the train and I go to the liquor store and I just bought completely based on like weird cans, right?
That's
like
a good way
whatever
to go for me.
names and cans. So I'm starting with one. This is from Altamont Brewing. And it is the which way do I turn this? Mac Dre Diamond double IPA. So Mac Dre, I don't know if people know Mac Dre. Greg, I think you probably know Mac Dre. But he was a Bay Area, very popular Bay Area rapper who died very young, but was one of the first or one of the big sort of hyphy movement guys from back in the early part of this century. So I was like, okay, I'll buy the Mac Dre beer. Like, why not? I have no idea if it's any good. I usually think that things like this are not good. Like, have you guys had Rap Snacks? Anybody? Rap Snacks? No?
No. Nope.
Potato chips endorsed by rappers?
No.
It's like,
like THC infused chips from Snoop Dogg.
but that would be interesting. But it's like
Where do I
messing,
sign up?
it's like Exhibit's spicy barbecue potato chips or something. Like it's very like not.
I like how April and Matt Pressberry both like yes.
Oh, wraps owned by Master P. That would make sense. That would make sense. No limit on the wrap snacks.
Do they have a tank? Do you have to get them out of a tank?
You do.
TH
You do.
TH chips.
But yeah, like you see wraps that you're like, I'm gonna get like oh, who is the Lil Bow Wow's like sour cream and onion or whatever, and you know they're not. I think they get the potatoes that are left over that like Lay's is like, nah, we're not gonna pick these ones, and then they're like, okay, send them to Wrap Snacks. Anyway, Altamont's a pretty decent brewery though, so there's our. It doesn't have the kind of color I would expect.
Mm.
It smells super duper hoppy though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's not very good.
Hey, don't mince words with us, Berto.
I mean, it's not very good. What can I say? It has like it has almost I'm trying to think, how do you say this? It's got like a cleaner flavor. Like not like, ooh, it tastes cleaner than not, like it tastes like cleaner. Like
That doesn't sound good.
no, it sort of how like when you walk into
Like
a place
Pine Sol.
yeah, like you walk into a place that's been heavily disinfected and you can kind of taste the disinfectant in the air.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a little bit like that. So it's not great. It's not totally undrinkable. It's not like if someone gave you this at a party, you would finish it, but you wouldn't get another one. If that makes sense. Did we lose Greg, or is he actually just that?
Yeah. How about this? I think Greg is kind of froze. But does it have a dirty dishwater mouthfeel?
No, it's so the mouthfeel of it, the like weight of it and everything is pretty crisp. It just has like an aftertaste of like if you tried to explain to someone what an IPA tasted like, and then they made it based on that.
Oh, like somebody who didn't know how to make IPAs. Like, I'm gonna
Right,
make an IPA.
Yeah, someone who like if you're trying to like describe to someone who had never had beer, you're like, it tastes like this, and then this might be what they make.
That's great. Although I like this. Yeah, I don't know if you ever had this one, like one of their first ever summer beer. That is how it tasted. It tasted like 11 Pledge. Not great.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So it's not great, but I'm happy to have tried it. The guy at the liquor store, I was talking to him and he's like, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't sell, and so I really can't continue stocking.
I'm gonna ask a question. What is it? Does it have a date on the bottom of the can?
I can't see anything anymore, Doug.
And hey, we're in the same boat, man. I'm the same way. Because here's the thing: the amount of times I have purchased an IPA of some sort and it had a date on the can, and the bottom of it was like, "Oh yeah, it's 6 months old. No wonder it tastes like shit."
Okay, well, this one it says 6/23/23, but I don't know if that's
fine. That's
yeah,
within 2 months should be fine. So
should be all right. And so okay, and so I was thinking about that you were talking about the fresh IPA, and like a year ago or so, you had someone on, a brewer, and she was talking about like how the IPA origin story isn't real.
Oh yeah,
it's like a myth.
I think that was Jessica Jones from Giant Jones. Like she was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I was like, isn't not being fresh the point of it? Like, is it allegedly?
Yeah, but the thing is like you're supposed to drink those fresh because then like it turns malty and stuff, and then it's gross. But that you're like the fact that it's 2 months old, that should be fine. That should not taste bad. It should be good.
It does. Oh, you're right. It does say to I never get this right. Drink fresh. It says drink fresh.
Like there's some beers that you have to do that, and IPAs are one of them. So yeah.
Drink fresh, and that's appropriate because it's like the Subway sandwich of beers. Like like Subway makes an approximation of a sandwich, right? Like it's got the ingredients, it's like a recognizable shape. you can use your hands, but it's not a good sandwich.
Yeah.
Not so yes, exactly. So that's like the chaos of life really started like in early July.
Mm.
I don't know if I can't remember anything anymore. But like
Oh,
my
dude,
wife,
same.
did I tell you my wife and my middle child went to Germany? Have we been through this one yet?
No.
Okay. So my middle child's best friend moved to Germany like a year ago.
Okay.
And so they've kept in touch and they wanted to go visit. So my wife got we're going to go to Germany, just the two of them. And it was great. And they went on like, you can book these like bizarre flights where they just like put it together for you super cheap. Yeah, it's a good screenshot of Greg. But like the itineraries are completely bonkers. Like they left at 4 a.m. to fly to LA to be in LA for like 11 hours and then fly to England and then be in England for 11 hours and then fly to Germany. So, and there's like no way around it. Like if you don't take the first leg of this flight, like if you try to get to LA on your own early, they cancel the whole rest of your trip. It's very strange. You're like a seat filler. You're like, why do I need to be on this plane? I could drive to LA and just be there.
How long is the drive to LA from where you are?
If you drive like a person who wants to get where you're going, it's like 4.5 hours.
Okay.
So
But so they wouldn't let you just buy a ticket from LA to go. You had to actually buy it from.
Well, you put in where you're starting, and then they give you this itinerary. But like, if you're like, no, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to get to LA on my own. They're like, no, you're not. Like, you didn't check in for your first flight. So
That's
anyway,
dumb.
but this was great, and this is like my wife is a dynamo, and she's awesome, and like she did more on the layovers than I think some people do on their whole vacation. So they went down to LA, 11-hour whatever layover. They pieced out and went to the Santa Monica Pier and like rode rides and went to the beach and then went back. I would have been scared to death to do that because I'm like the random screening every single time guy, right?
Oh
So like
yeah.
if I left the airport and came back, I would never be on another plane again for the rest of my life. Like it would be over. You'd never see me again. I'd be like in the bottom of LAX.
You'd be in a black site.
Exactly. Be a Guantanamo. It'd be all over. Why'd you leave the airport?
Roberto.
I'm bored. So they did that. They came back. They got their flight to London. They had this long layover in London. So they did the same thing. They were sending me pictures from every like, if someone did like a montage in a movie of like, I went to London, they went to every single place. They went to like whatever was it, Trafalgar Square and the Big Eye and Big Ben, and they went to the palace to see the guys in the hats. Like they basically, it was like they did Amazing Race and just sprinted through London to every place you'd want to take a photo and took a photo. And then came the kicker where then they went to go get their flight to Germany. And that's when Tanisa found out that if your passport expires within 3 months, they don't let you into Germany. So her passport expired in like 2 months, So she was not, they missed their flight. They were not going to Germany. They had to stay another day in London and go to the embassy and get like emergency passport, made the best of it, went saw a show at the West End. What a trip. Like, yeah, you missed the one day in Germany, but like they saw Wicked.
In London, which is kind of
in cool. London, which is amazing. Yeah. Finally get to Germany, had a great trip, came back, same thing, 800 layovers.
That sounds terrible.
The day they came back, they landed at the same time my flight left, and I left for a week. Then, oh wow, look at that! No power for Greg.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, power went out for a bit. Thank
you,
Power Grid.
They landed the same time my flight left. I was gone for a week. I came back. We all pieced out to family camp. We came back. Tanisa basically started her new job like the day we came back. It was the last 2 months have been a whole trip, and everything's fallen off the radar, and I'm way behind on 40 for 40 like promotion and trying to get that pumped back up so that we can get some runners and some pledgers and some people. And like Greg's like, oh, I don't know if I can run, but Greg, like also, you can roll. You can get you could attach a bunch of balloons to the back of a radio flyer and then like let them all go and do that thing that like put straws in them and then there's so many things like
the fart noise coming in. Great.
yeah, fart noise from a balloon. It's like the funniest thing ever, right? You can propel yourself forward in so many hilarious ways, Greg, that you don't actually need to run. Right?
Wait.
Also,
the answer for that one is
also, Greg, your thing, your power went out and your face was like this. And that will be screenshotted, and I think people are trying to get it to be put on a T-shirt. So,
well, you can find it on YouTube. You can find it.
Yeah,
you can find it anywhere.
Yeah,
for replay, you can stop
Can we use it as like a reaction picture for just anything on social media? Like, where people are? Can we meme that?
Literally, we were 3 years into this, and y'all just got this idea. Really?
What do you want from me?
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to whoever thinks this is a great idea. Y'all got a lot of footage. You got thousands of hours to pull. Right.
I've made some really ridiculous faces on here too. So,
I do it all the time. It's pretty bad. That's why do you think I never watch this shit after it's done, Roberto?
Because you don't like the sound of your voice. Right. That's why.
I don't like that either. But you're right. The faces are horrible too. Yeah. But what's not horrible, Doug, I think, is this beer.
All right, what's up with that beer? It's like a New England IPA-ish.
New England has an IPA now?
Yep.
God.
From Trace Brewing, Doug. You were there.
Nice. Yeah, it was. It's a great little place.
Yeah, and I was there on Sunday. I dropped in just for some takeout. And it's a nice, orangey, juicy, probably hazy, right? Hazy.
Yeah, looks it.
IPA.
Not hazy. Anything but hazy, apparently. No, I don't mind hazy.
Yeah, y'all don't like me because I don't care about the IPA trends. I drink them all.
Yep.
Give me all the IPAs, give them right to my house. You don't have to put them in my bathroom like the former president, but I will take them. Isn't that the sign of hoarders when you have to literally store shit in your bathroom? I mean,
I think it's when you can't, you don't have rooms. They're just pathways to get around your house because there's so much shit. I think that's the hoarders.
So yeah, we just built a big shed in our yard. We tore down 2 small sheds and put up 1 big shed, and now my house is suddenly clean. It's amazing. It's really amazing.
So you're not hoarders anymore.
We don't look like hoarders. Is what it is. We no longer have the appearance of hoarders. Whether we are not, we have 5 people in a 3-bedroom house. So like, it just, there's shit everywhere. And like the problem is, like, y'all tell me about yourselves, but like, we got people who love books, people who love making art. We have toys. We had at one point 4 people all doing rugby. So they're like, I was up to here in like tiny pairs of cleats and like
stinky cleats,
tiny pairs of stinky cleats. And they would grow out of them before they would wear out. So then you're like doing hand-me-down cleats. And then there's just like, right. But you're still adding a pair like every 6 months because the big one is getting bigger. And so then it's just, sweaty, gross rugby balls. We got so much sports equipment in our house, but now it's in the shed. The shed that my neighbor hates because it ended up taller than we thought it was going to be. And he's like, you're blocking my view. Rugby balls, yeah. I probably end up with 2 or 3 new rugby balls a year just from like everyone at the tournament's gone and there's like a ball. Okay. You're like, you're not going to leave it in the field.
You mean the actual balls that y'all play rugby with? Okay, forget it. Sorry.
What were
Somewhere.
you thinking?
What I'm thinking is that we do this right now.
Eh,
I'm just gonna get out of that conversation real fast and go to what have I been watching? Two things. Number one, I saw this silliness, and um, so after seeing this movie, Doug, no spoilers because it's still what when does the spoilers stop? And then I'm gonna stay here. I'll give it another week before we really get into Barbie spoilers. But for all y'all who are upset about this movie for whatever reason, I just want to remind you that it's a fucking story about a doll. Okay? Barbie is a doll. Barbie is fictitious. Barbie is not real life. Okay? So I can tell y'all for those who haven't seen this, it's a story about a doll.
I have
That's
to
it.
say, I also saw Barbie, and I loved it.
Me too.
And one of the things I loved about it is that it is an event movie, which I have not really experienced in a long time. And by that I mean when I went, not only was it sold out, and I didn't even like go the first day. I went like a week and a half later. It was still sold out, and there were groups of people there who were not just like parents and their kids. It wasn't like people are getting together, friend groups are getting together to go see this movie, right? Like you're getting all of your buddies together, you know, everyone in your dorm, whatever it is, and people are going to see this movie. And that, like, the vibe in a theater with that is so different than just like a bunch of couples or individuals or like couple of friends. Like when you have like people who have specifically gone like 15 deep to experience something together, and then you've got that times, you know, like 30, the vibe in the theater was so good. It was so fun. It was so fun. And this movie is fantastic. And if you're mad about it, there's something probably wrong with you.
You're mad about a movie about a doll. This is fucking ridiculous.
But like, I mean,
and
but let's be real. They're not mad. I mean, the movie has a message. The movie has a very clear
okay, but
message.
it's still about a doll though. Like, did we get this upset over Pinocchio? What the fuck's going on?
Yeah,
Anyway.
in fact, the whole Pinocchio's whole disparagement of actors is a blow at the SAG-AFTRA strike right now, and I will not stand for Pinocchio fucking references right now because they make the actor's life into something tawdry and unsustainable.
So, and I got 45 minutes on the stream, y'all. And then I have a late night cinema date where me and the boys are going to watch this. So, suggested this one to them. Haven't seen it in a while. So we will check this out in about an hour. Doug, that's what I've been watching. What have you been watching?
To bookend your Barbie is I watched this. 3 hours long, folks. So if you are a person like me that can't go more than 2 hours of peeing, you find your spot to go pee or just
okay. So do you have the app, Doug?
I do not.
Google it. Google will tell you when to go to pee for any movie.
Yeah, yep. There's a website that has like minute markers for when to go pee.
Right.
Yep.
So when I went to see, no, it wasn't Barbie. It was another movie I went and saw recently, but I had to go pee, and there were like, Doug, was it all old men when you went to go see Oppenheimer?
No.
Okay.
It was not. It was a smattering of a bunch of different kinds of people. That was actually the cool thing about it. So, yeah. Go ahead, and then I'll talk about it.
So just real quick, I had to go pee during another movie, and I got there just behind all the old men who went to see Oppenheimer. Those guys took fucking forever, and they're talking about the movie while they all pee. So they're like at the urinal and they're just chatting about the movie. It was like that comic with like young guys in the dressing room and old guys in the dressing room, right? And they were like, I don't generally converse in a public bathroom while I'm peeing. It's not my thing. But these guys, and they like, they had held it, I guess, because oh my god. And then each one, like this one guy, like hygiene, yes, COVID, everything. We've learned to wash our hands better. This guy washed his hands like he was about to perform surgery. It was like 4 minutes of hand washing in the bathroom with only one sink at this small indie movie theater. And like, yeah, it was horrifying. But that's what convinced me that only old guys are going to see Oppenheimer. But I don't know.
No, not for me.
You don't talk in the bathroom. You do not talk in the bathroom. This is not no.
Yeah, so no sex. There's no sex in the champagne room either. So,
well, there's more sex in the champagne room than me talking in the damn bathroom.
Fair.
Doug, back
There's
to
no
Oppenheimer.
talking in the champagne room either, apparently.
Yeah, true. So Oppenheimer, I thought was really, really good. There's a whole section of movie that I thought was like, why are they doing this? To me, I won't say what it was because I think less people have seen Oppenheimer than have seen Barbie. That's definitely a fact because Barbie's grossed fucking $8 trillion at this point. But yeah, it's really good. But I have some moralistic issues with it, in that the guy who created an atom bomb is like, he's not painted as a good guy. It's not that, but they paint him as someone who was driven and then kind of remorseful after the fact. And if you create a bomb that can destroy, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people at once, I don't think you're a good guy. Sorry, that's just sort of a line in the sand I have. But the direction, the camera work, the music in it, all of it was superb. Christopher Nolan is one of those guys who just, when he puts a movie together, it fucking works because he knows how to put a movie together. So yeah, I would recommend watching it. I'm just saying, like, from a perspective of like, yeah, you're kind of making this guy seem like he's not as bad. Yeah, he created a bomb that to this day we have issues like with, that it could kill millions of people. So anyway,
we've made them better.
Yeah. So also third beer before we get to Roberto stuff. So I grabbed a collaboration from Barrel and Flow here. Greg, we've had this Dark Princess from Necromancer. This can art, look at that fucking can art. Look how fucking beautiful that is.
I didn't have that mess.
This is the one we were talking about at Necromancer because it had licorice in it. That's right. That's why you didn't have it. But I just love the can. But the can art on this is superb. It's a brown ale with coriander, orange peel, and licorice. I am not a licorice fan, but I didn't think the licorice was like, because they use hops rather than that supposedly taste like licorice. But
the licorice hop, yeah, that's a no.
He's got the brown ale tones to it, so it's nice. Fucking Zach jumps in, and what did he jump in with?
I don't know.
Yeah, Pressbury makes the point that they left a lot out. Yes, they did. There is one thing that I will ruin, because this was something my wife and I agreed on about Oppenheimer. There is not a universe in which some guy will pick what's John Krasinski's wife's name? Emily Blunt over Florence Pugh. Not in a million years. Not in a million years. Florence Pugh is just, she's fucking a fantastic actress and hot as hell. And just, my wife's like, my wife is like, yeah, I'm picking Florence Pugh every time over Emily Blunt. So like, we were in agreement on that. So yeah.
Guys would rather be abused by Florence Pugh than have a kind, loving Emily Blunt.
Yes.
Or go to therapy.
Yep. How was that awful sounding beer?
It wasn't good. Which one? Mine?
I think he was talking
Or
about mine
Doug's?
because
Oh, yours. Okay. That it looks fantastic. Like in as much as beer looks
It
good.
sounds like garbage. What's going on, Doug?
But the thing is, here's the thing: it tastes like a brown ale, and weirdly, you're gonna think it's licorice. It's more like a hoppy brown ale. It's not really licorice. The coriander and orange peel, I don't get a lot of, but like, yeah, there's it's a decent beer. I enjoyed it, but it's not something that I'm like, man, that's fantastic. It's more just like, that's pretty good.
Nope.
We
Greg
got
lost
Greg.
power again.
Yeah, or
With like a less funny
it's
face.
like it's like the emoji with the yeah. No. This is kind of a niche joke for our show because Greg and I fucking hate Lizard of Kaz as a beer, and that's like the worst beer both of us have ever had. So
Really?
yeah.
Have you ever had laser?
No, that sounds like some weird shit that I don't know what it is, but
It's an awful malt liquor from the 90s.
I've had lots of awful malt liquor, but not that one.
The the thing is, it looks like there's only 4 lasers on the bottle, but there's a secret 5th laser that's really hard to see.
Oh, okay. That's what makes it bad.
No, what makes it bad is that it's like $1.99 for a 40. That's what makes it bad. That's
yeah. And
That's what
we've had this conversation before, but like we would have this thing in my fraternity where there was a particular kind of 40 called Crazy Horse, and it was this thing. I'm pretty sure, like if you drank more than like we would have this challenge. If you could drink 2 bottles of Crazy Horse, you would like win the evening. Like, what'd you win? Nothing. You just were a fucking doofus for drinking
like
all of it.
2 40s or 2 bombs?
Two 40s.
If you could drink 2 40s, you win. Like that's I don't know. I'm trying to think back to high school. Like that was I don't know. I don't know if I ever hit the 2 40s. I know that like in college, like this was probably around 2001, but I lived with 2 of my high school friends when we were and my girlfriend. We all lived together, and we were like, I haven't had a 40 in a long time. Like, let's go for. So we were in LA. First of all, we had to go find 40. It was like harder than we thought to find a 40 where we were, and then we drank them, and it was like the worst idea ever.
They're not good.
I don't know how I mean, I know how I did it because I was a child drinking 40s, which now, some of y'all, Doug, you've been through this already, but like my oldest is in high school as of last Monday. And like, I can't have them doing the things I did in high school, Doug.
Yeah.
I can't have my precious baby drinking 40s. Like, I'm not ready.
Well, what you need to do is do what we have done in this house is we would allow our kids to try little samples of things. That way they would figure out what they like. Now, here's 2 of our kids are like, all of that stuff tastes shitty. I'm never drinking. And one of our kids is 21 and he likes to drink. And then we have one kid who's 16 who, when he was like 11, I gave him a tiny sip of bourbon. He wanted to try it because I was drinking it. And he goes, ooh, that tastes has like buttery taste to it. I'm like, oh shit, that is not good. You should think that stuff tastes terrible.
Ham sommelier. Yeah, no, and I'm lucky. Like my oldest is actually fairly straight edge, like in what they have always like sort of professed and what they've said are their desires and values. But yeah, like it's a weird. So I live in the house that I grew up in, and am raising my children here. And like my freshman year of high school, on the very back deck that I can see through my window right now, I had my first like alcohol fueled party, which was chaperoned by my aunt.
As long as you have it at home. Is it one of those
Yeah.
things? Yeah, at least I can supervise you, kind of deals. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm as a parent, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not.
Greg.
Greg, when's the last time you had a 40? Also, I'm gonna open my second beer. I
40?
know I'm late.
40?
Hella hoppy.
Like,
Look at that.
probably 40
Hella
years
hoppy.
ago.
Apparently, this is hella hoppy. Hella, for those who aren't from Northern California, or for whom it has not yet infiltrated, is the intensifier word for NorCal. So hella. I'm not gonna put it in the same glass that I had the terrible Mac Dre beer in. You know, rest in peace, Mac Dre. So I'm just gonna try it out of the can.
All right.
That's good. That's a typical sort of West Coast IPA kind of thing.
I thought it was a double IPA. It had IPA.
Oh, maybe it is double.
Oof.
Maybe it is double.
What's the
Yeah.
ABV? What is the ABV on that? Please look.
25? No, sorry. Yeah, 9.
Yep. That's a double.
Yeah, that's a double. That'll hit me.
Mhm.
I do like the idea of a quintuple Hoppenheimer IPA. If any
Somebody's gonna
brewers are listening, please take
do
Zach's
that.
suggestion. So it's interesting. So I need to see Oppenheimer. I need to see it because I want to have like an informed opinion about it.
Mhm.
Because like most of what I know about it, obviously, is just stuff that I've read or heard. But coming at it from the perspective of a Japanese American person, right? Like I still do feel, even though it's like very far in my ancestry, like what happened to Japanese people, like I have an interest, right? And some of the early criticism was like, but it doesn't show the Japanese people's perspective. It doesn't show, it doesn't really talk about Japanese people, and like I need to see how they like portray the whole thing, what the lens is. But even as a Japanese American, like I don't necessarily see how you put that in the story, right? Like the perspective of the Japanese people is this fucking sucked and a bunch of us died and it didn't need to happen, right? I don't know where the movie ends. I don't know, but I don't know how you necessarily integrate that. But I want to see the movie before I sort of really make a decision on it. It's just, yeah. I don't know. I grew up. I don't know if anyone ever knew the graphic novels Barefoot Gen, but it was about like it was. I mean, this guy who made the graphic novels, like it was basically about his experience of surviving Hiroshima. And it would like had a huge impact on me as a kid, as a Japanese American kid. And yeah, I'm fascinated by the whole idea of this film, because I do think that it is an interesting story to talk about, like what drove people to try to solve this scientific problem, right? Even understanding what the repercussions might be, or did they, or seeing it in retrospect, or yeah. So I'm fascinated by the whole idea of Oppenheimer, and I'm sure I'll watch it when it's streaming, and I can devote 3 hours to it and pause it when I need to pee.
Yeah, I think that would be wise.
I have something that's fascinating.
Okay.
Kind of these lines. Let's see here. Where is it? Oh. Let's go.
Okay. How about a bottle of vodka?
Okay. A whole ass bottle of vodka, or was it one of those little?
No, it was
sippers?
a whole ass bottle, and it was like 4 of us went to the theater, and we just we bought a soda.
Was it a $7.50, or was it like a handle of like cheap vodka? in the
It was-
drunk-proof
it-
plastic
oh,
bottle
oh,
that
it was-
bounces
it-
back up if you drop it.
It was plastic. It was some shit we bought in college that was like super cheap, like Mr. Boston's or some dumb shit like that. So we bought a giant soda and we like one of us like chugged a hunk of it out and then we just poured a whole fucking bunch of vodka in it and we just kept filling vodka in it and it got lower.
So it's just like the ratios just get all fucked up.
Yeah, we kind of stumbled out of that theater, but yes.
What
The
movie
worst-
was? Do you remember? Probably not.
What's that?
Do you remember the movie? Probably not.
No. We just like, let's go to the movie and see if we could sneak a bottle of vodka in there and they get hammered in the theater. I'm like, okay. And I couldn't tell you what we saw.
So my kids all went to summer camp and my wife and I went to go on a movie date. And some guy, I think he actually snuck himself into the theater to begin with, but also he was just like basically smoking pot and drinking beers and like opening the fire exit to go out and like vape more THC and like leaving the door open. And like I had half a mind to like kick him down the stairs and close the emergency exit, which I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be able to open back up. That guy's he's a legend now. And then nothing happened to him until he had a blanket with him that was one of those, like, it wasn't a blanket, it was one of those like furniture blankets that you get when you rent a U-Haul.
Yeah.
He didn't get kicked out until like after the after credit scene. But yeah.
I don't have anything ridiculous besides like candy and other shit. No, I don't know.
I snuck in, I was about 12 years old and I snuck in, like, this is back when like the value meal at McDonald's was new. And I was in a hurry because I was late. And so I just like put it under my jacket and I gave my ticket and I ran through and the usher was like, "Are you sneaking in food?" And I was like, "Yes." And I just ran up the stairs.
Honest Berto.
I didn't know what else to say. Like I was caught, but I also wasn't going to stop. So I would say it's an entire McDonald's value meal.
That's the kind of shit that happened there.
Oh, Baltimore. I love you so much, Baltimore. My wife is from Baltimore. For folks who don't know, I have a lot of opinions. People are like, "Oh, Baltimore's so wild." Same thing with DC. People were like, "Oh, how can you walk through these neighborhoods in DC?" And I'm like, well,
I use my legs.
What?
Baltimore.
What about it?
It's a lot like Oakland is basically what my point was.
Confirmed.
But like
that was fun.
now, yeah. Ears everywhere. Yeah, no, but like DC, Baltimore, both of them are like Baltimore to me is just the East Coast Oakland. Right? Like, oh, Baltimore is it's the murder capital of the it's so dangerous. I'm like,
you can thank The Wire for that, but yes.
Well, and that was part of it, was like watching The Wire when early in the time we were dating. I was like, oh yeah, it's just Oakland. Anyway.
All right, Doug. I want to get to this real quick.
Yep.
Can I just interject real quick? I'm watching the new season of Reservation Dogs and Only Murders in the Building. Reservation Dogs is awesome, but it will have you starting to talk slang that is not from your culture, so be careful.
All right. Doug, what are you listening to?
Okay, so I started listening to this podcast called Knock 'em Dead. This is by Christopher Titus, who's a comedian, and his wife is Rachel Bradley, and she's a comedian as well. And basically, the premise of the podcast is Christopher Titus had a near-death experience, and his wife had to care for two people at the end of their life. So what they were trying to do is make something about death, but make it so that it's not scary. Now, as the fact that I had a fucking heart attack 2 years ago, which I didn't have an NDE, I was not in that realm. Death was not something I ever really thought about much for myself. And then that kind of really cemented that in. But the first podcast is about near death experiences. The second episode is about death doulas, which I had never heard of, but I thought that's fascinating. So I haven't listened to the second episode yet. The first episode, I will say, is very heavy on the God stuff, which is not my jam. But go ahead, sorry. Oh, I was just saying, like the concept of like talking about things like energy doesn't just die; it moves. It doesn't end. Energy just moves. So, like if your brain is full of electrical impulses, that's energy. So, if you pass, then that energy's got to be dispersed somewhere. So that kind of idea is kind of fascinating to me. So yeah, if you are non-religious like me, you have to kind of get over the God stuff in there. But there's also some other things that I listened to it with Jill, and she grew up in an evangelical household, and we had to stop listening to it because there was some very much white supremacy shit in there that I completely missed, which is fucked up. But I'm looking forward to listening to the second episode about death doulas. Hopefully, it's not so fucking laden with that nonsense, but interesting nonetheless.
Doug, have you read Stiff?
Skiff? No.
Stiff. It came out about 2007, and it's like it's a non-religious examination. Like basically, this writer is trying to figure out like if there's a soul, what is the afterlife, what is death about, and it's almost like what was that? Was it the Will Smith movie? Was it like 6 ounces or whatever? Like people like die and then they're lighter or some nonsense. But it's really like it's trying to look for evidence of anything that like might actually be in existence after death, but it's not religious. It's attempting to be scientific. It's a really interesting book. You might like it if you're into this topic.
Yeah, my to be read pile is fucking huge, so I don't think I can add
Yeah,
that.
no shit. That's why I seem like a fucking hoarder because I have 5 people's to be read pile in my living room.
Yep. All right, Greg, what are you listening to? Sorry to sidetrack that.
Oh, yeah, this week coming back from Barren Flow, it's kind of been a slow recovery week, Doug, as you can, probably
As we know
relate
about
to.
now.
So yeah, I've been putting music on the afternoon, background music, and I just remembered a band that I listened to in my early adulthood that I found very enjoyable listening to, and it is this band this week. I listened to Led Zeppelin Coda. Also the song remains the same, and what's this last one here? I forget. But I think it's their last 3 studio albums. And the thing that's remarkable about Led Zeppelin is that like I just miss um albums that flow. Like you can just put them on and you don't know when the songs end and when they begin. And they have such a vibe that it's just a constant sound in your head. It's not like
Is that because
today's
you're on
music
acid?
where, well,
You're
maybe, but it's
Fish
not
and the
a
Grateful Dead.
Can you see the music when you're listening to Led Zeppelin?
it's not a break in the sound though. Like to me, I, I'm fine with the break in the sounds and then the like total differences. But I love when albums flow. You really only see that, in my opinion, in classic rock nowadays. Some artists are still trying to do it, and there's some artists that do it. But everything is so broken up. It's so crunched down. It's hard to really get a vibe. But Led Zeppelin, it's not really one of my favorite bands ever, but I just got caught listening to a lot of their music. I understand they're problematic about they stole all the music that they made and all that. I got it. Trying to go down a rabbit hole here. If y'all would like to, we could do it on a different one. I just enjoyed listening to them on the afternoon in the summer, and maybe y'all will enjoy them too. They have a lot of albums that have bangers. Like the whole album is just really, really good songs. And driving back from Barren Flow, it was one of those physical graffitis what I put on. and my sons were very, very interested in thought it was pretty good. So that aged well, I guess, as far as they're concerned. And
A
but yeah,
lot of
man, if
samples coming out of Led Zeppelin too.
y'all can, yeah, and they're
A lot of hooks.
yeah, they are cited as one of the most one of the inspiring acts when people talk about it, especially rock bands. Talk about Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, all them. So Led Zeppelin's been fun listening to this week, and I wanted to share that. So cheers to that.
Cheers.
So yeah, what's up there? What's up, Doug? Do you or I'm sorry, Berto, do you have anything you're listening to?
I have a couple of things. So I interpret a Riot Girl punk music festival every year, maybe twice a year sometimes. So I've been listening to a lot of Bratmobile lately, and
Okay.
other sort of like Riot Girl punk acts like that have been. There are a lot of them are like probably more West Coast known that played this festival that Tanisa and me and a couple other people interpreted recently. So that's been on the music side. Plus the Pandora station I found Spring Break 1995, which is also right up my alley. So if you're nostalgic for the mid 90s, you might check that out. They do play stuff from like the early 2000s. It's a little anachronistic. But it's still like you're like, oh yes, I forgot that I liked Sugar Ray for 10 minutes.
I'm just gonna fly, that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Like, but
Don't
then it
sing
also
it.
has like
That's why I said it.
Naughty by Nature and
Not
Tupac.
that I hate you.
It's like it's got a great variety. Collective Soul, I forgot like how into Collective Soul I was for some reason. But and then my middle child, my 12-year-old, got me into this podcast called the Magnus Archives.
Oh, I love the Magnus Archives.
Yes, which is over. It has been over for a while.
But there's a million episodes.
There are 200 episodes. I am on 123 or something. But it's been a great way to connect with my middle child. But also, it's really good. It's horror, but it's not like shock you horror. It's like story-based horror. And some of the episodes are so incredible. Like you get to season 3 when it really finds its footing, and some of those early season 3 episodes are like, I'm still like, oh, it wasn't even scary. There was no jump, there was no blood, there was no murder, it was just this poetic thing of like the person who wasn't there. Like it's like almost like an Edgar Allan Poe, like, ooh, it's very, very creepy and it's super fun.
Yep, that's a very good descriptor.
JHG is not creepy, but JHG, we expect to see you this year at the 40 for 40.
Yeah, he said he was going to run.
You have to sign up. He's not signed up.
I have to do that too. I've been told I have to.
Stop jumping over me, damn it, Doug. You have to, JHG. You have to sign up again, buddy. You have to redeem yourself and beat Roberto this time.
So, and let's
last year was a setup, and JHG, this is your year, buddy. You know how they say every year is your year? There you go, JHG. I'm here for you. Can we
get into this a little bit?
Rooting for you. This is why you're here, right?
Yeah, like
okay.
Let's talk about this a little bit. Because I also see Victor, who had an unfortunate circumstance last year where I think he ran 60 yards uphill in the rain. I don't know like all about camera angles and everything, but I know that Victor, it looked like Victor ran like Victor's time, knowing what I know about him, the fact that he ran like the slowest time of anyone who actually tried to run, like makes me think that he did not measure this out right. Right?
There's no way he ran slower than me. There's just no way. So
well, but you didn't run last year.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, he did.
I ran pretty damn slow, but I did.
Where's the video? We need more video.
40 for 40, the YouTube page, y'all. Subscribe. That's where it is.
Right.
Anyway. It's there, and all it's not
Look.
glory, but it's there.
But look, I'm ripe for the picking. I don't know if I can defend this year. I am slower, less trained, heavier than I've ever been in my life, and like the title's out there to be taken by somebody, right? And I saw, so you guys had a Maui fires
Yes.
GoFundMe up earlier. Look,
Yes.
I want to encourage somebody to go and run with that as their charity.
Yes.
Because if you can place in the top 3, they're going to get some money. Okay.
Yes.
And if you are out there listening and you can't run, don't want to run, running's not your deal, maybe you can pledge $10 on the runner you think is going to place in the top 3, and maybe Maui's your charity and you'll get money for your charity, right? Because the whole thing is, if you place in the top 3, you get money for your charity. But if you pledge and in the GoFundMe, you put in a comment and you say, I think JHG is going to place in the top 3, we're going to put you in to a drawing for everyone who chose JHG. And one of you is going to win money for your charity also. So you don't have to run. You don't even have to propel yourself forward. If you just pick someone who places in the top 3, you're going to get money for your charity. Right? So like that's what we're going for. And we want to see you guys pledge, like, hey, maybe you think I can defend my title or at least place, right? So pledge for me. Pledge $10 on the GoFundMe and say, I think Berto's going to win. Berto's going to win for whole women's health again, and we're going to keep getting reproductive care for women around Texas. Since last year, my thing was they were moving to New Mexico out of Texas so that they could try to keep operating. But let's keep getting funds for that for women in and around Texas and New Mexico and Arizona who need to keep getting reproductive care. You know, but you could pledge. Maybe Doug has the funniest run again, right?
I didn't have the funniest. I just
Or one of the funniest. We have Kel Anders has signed up again. Kel said that they're like 8 months pregnant right now, and they're going to do they're going to waddle these 40 yards. I don't know if it's going to be through the meadow again with a dog. Who knows? I don't know what we're going to see, but we've got all kinds of people coming up, right? And you know, I'm looking at some of our great commenters here on the feed. Jeff, Daniel, I don't know how old you are. Your profile picture, you look young and everything.
He's getting there. He's getting there.
Getting there. Matt
Getting there.
Pressberry, I don't know how old
Matt
you are.
Pressberry.
Maybe
and
you want to run.
Matt Pressberry has he has his own built-in charity, the Black Fathers Foundation.
Ooh, so he can run for his own charity.
Yes,
Daniel's 43. Daniel's in.
Or another one for Matt Pressberry could be the James Lopez GoFundMe, so he could run for that Matt Pressberry.
Yep.
So
yeah, and other people, Matt, and this is the great thing, y'all. You can recruit other runners and other pledgers. So the idea, hopefully, is that everybody who signs up to run goes out to their community and says, "Vote, pledge for me." Pledge for me to either be the fastest or the most creative, right? Or the funniest. And that's how the pot grows, right? It doesn't grow just from the 3 of us trying to put it out there. It grows from all of the runners going out there and saying, vote for me. I'm Daniel Fisher. I have a great charity in Baltimore, or wherever Daniel's from. And New York City?
Gotham.
Great. So Daniel's, maybe he can get.
Is this the GoFundMe? Same one?
I think so. Yeah. But Daniel could get more money for the Yankees to sign Shohei Ohtani, so maybe they get up above 500.
Wait, the Yankees don't need anybody's money.
I mean, they need somebody's money because that roster, they have not been investing in that roster lately. But anyway,
it's not like they don't got the money. What the fuck? Anyway, I don't even know anything about baseball. I know one thing: the Yankees have money, and everybody else doesn't. But I'm not trying to go down that rabbit hole.
No, we're not
Anyway.
going to the anyway. But the point is, like, if you have a charity, come and run and
Yes.
get money for your charity and send this out to your networks and say, I'm running for this. I'm involved in this, and grow the pot, right? Because the point is, all the money that gets, I mean, it's 100% pass through, right? Like we're all doing this for the love of it. And so any money that gets pledged for a runner, it goes back out to a charity. And I think last time we donated to, it was 6 or 7 different charities. And, you know, it wasn't huge amounts all the time, but it was something. And that's the point of this, is to try to build community and to try to get money in the hands of organizations that are going to do something good with it. And so we had animal rescues, we had you know, clinics, we had charities that do other charity work like Random Acts. So Random Acts, if you all don't know, is a charity that actually supports other people's good work. So you can go to randomacts.org and look them up. And if you have a project that you want to do in your community that's going to benefit people, Random Acts can help you do that, because that's their whole point, is random acts of kindness. And so we've raised a lot of money for a lot of different people. And I think it's, you know, it's a fun thing. It's an important thing. We had a lot of fun on the broadcast last time. It's blocked in some countries because we use content from the NFL. I learned that my 40 time now, or last year, is faster than Tom Brady's 40 time at the NFL Combine. So I know there's one thing I'm probably still better at than Tom Brady. I bet I could still run faster than Tom Brady. And if you think you can run faster than Tom Brady or me, I dare you to come prove it. Daniel Fisher, Jeff Tepper, Victor Aragon,
Aaron Govea.
Aaron Govea. I still think that the funniest.
All right,
So remember
Eddie.
when Facebook was trying to be a TV network and they were going to have like TV, they had like Big Baller. They had Big Baller. They had the
red chair with Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah, they had all that stuff. I was like, you know what will get more ratings than anything would be Aaron Govea doing TB12. Just a reality show of Aaron Govea doing the TB12 diet and hating it.
Right. And then you could have the sideshow would be Sam. Sam could get his own sideshow.
And Sam wasn't even like the celebrity that he is, you know, back then.
Right.
But man, shout out to Sam. That kid is fantastic. And Aaron for raising him and just having such a I think, you know, we all know each other from being dads, right? That's how we all got together. And I think that one of the most important things, I'm just going off on a whole other tangent. One of the most important things you can do as a parent is just create an environment for your kids to be themselves, whoever that is.
And be creative. Yes.
And be creative, but be able to tell you who they are and what they want to do, and like let them sort of lead. Be like, oh, you're interested in this activity? Great, let's go do that. Oh, you're not the gender you identify with? Great, go do that. Oh, you're gay, go do that. You're whatever, like whatever it is your kids are into. My kids might be into soccer. Like, you know, that's not how I raised them, but if they're into soccer, I accept that. It's okay. Right? One of my kids might end up being a Raiders fan or something. Like, you never know what kind of weird.
Let's not go overboard.
I'm just saying, you never know what kind of weird stuff your kids are going to do.
Sure.
But even if my kid was a Raider fan, I hope that they would feel comfortable telling me that, despite my intense hatred for the Raiders. Right? But like, I still want them to know that I'd be open to it if that's what they wanted to pursue. And I think Aaron's done a great job with that, as much as I like to like poke fun at him.
Yes, sir. So you eloquently told us about the 40 for 40. Doug and I are going to do our best the next couple of weeks to spread the word. What's up, Doug? You didn't comment on it.
No, I wanted to point out that it is on September 10th.
It is on September 10th. That is a Sunday. You can run, and this is the other thing I want to emphasize, you can run from wherever you are. You can either run live with us on the live stream, or you can pre-record your run, and we'll play it during the live stream. This is a worldwide, coast to coast, whatever event. We are going to, so everyone who registers to run leading up to the event, we're going to send you an email that says, what time are you going to run? And we're going to tell you sort of the parameters, the things you need, which is basically just to have yourself a place to run and someone to film you. And hopefully a fourth person to time you, so the filmer isn't trying to time you. And that's basically it. We had so much fun last year, you guys. It was so cool. And that was a lot thanks to Greg and Lauren and even Doug, who bounced out early.
I won't be doing that this year, just for the record. I'm the only one who came in costume at the beginning of that, so
it's true. It's true. The costume was fantastic. Look up the 40 for 40 race on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Find last year's stream. Check it out. I'm going to try to post some of my favorite moments from last year on the Twitters.
Or the X.
No, I don't call it that. I haven't updated my app yet, and so it's still like I still have the blue bird. It still says Twitter. Like, I'm still going for that. This motherfucker. Anyway. But yeah, the 40 for 40 race. If you're 40 or over, let's party, man. Come on. John Finkel, where you at, bro? Let's go.
Well, you don't know where he's at because you can't see him.
I can't see anybody. It's the cataracts. I've been trying to hide it. I haven't mentioned it, but it's fine.
Yeah, sorry. That was a
joke. but also, yeah, if you go and you buy 40 for 40 merch, all of the profits from that go into the fund, right? If I'd had the time, I would have put that on. But I do want to just real quick. I didn't wear my 40 for 40 shirt. I did wear my Judy Human shirt. If you don't demand what you believe in for yourself, you're not going to get it. Judy Human, if you don't know, was a huge pioneer in disability rights. And my final comment, my Jerry Springer final comment is, if you ever have someone come to you and ask you for an accommodation, give it to them, please. Like, let's continue to break down barriers for people with disabilities.
Agreed.
Well, that's awesome. And on that note, Doug, do you have any comments on the 40 for 40 that you think maybe Roberto missed, or what do you got?
No, I just sign up, folks. It's silly. If you take it serious, great. If you want to be silly, great. Just join and just sign up and pick a charity you want to donate to. And who knows? Like, if you're not a runner, like I'm not a runner, my knees are fucking like sandpaper, so like I can't run very well. So like I'm probably not going to be one looking to get the fastest time. However, you can do other things. You can be funny. You could be interesting. You could be just creative. Just run with it. Figure out what works for you. What you think will be silly or funny, or if you want to just be fast, be fast.
And that also is the disability angle. That's the disability angle. Whereas as we were coming up with this last year and we were moving through different phases of it, of like, you don't have to run. You have to propel yourself forward in some manner, right? And we're gonna accept that. So whatever that is for you, we're gonna accept that, right? This isn't just for people with two good legs who can take a run. Like, this is for everybody.
Try a chicken suit. I might. Like the San Diego chicken.
Oh,
San Diego chicken.
Yeah. I've always wanted to be a mascot of some kind, and I've never been able to do it.
This is a good opportunity. I might try it.
There you go.
Doug, you're a mascot anyway, so you don't need a costume.
Fair.
And on that note, y'all, we're going to wrap up and get out of here. I have a movie waiting for me. This one. So, yeah. As long as the power or the cable doesn't go out.
Yeah.
It wasn't the power, it was the cable.
Real quick though. I was thinking about this list. What are you listening to? the Spring Break '95. Man, Ice Cube had so many bangers in the '90s, and now what has he become, bro? Like, it's so
Ice
depressing.
Ice Coon. I mean
Ice
Ice Cube.
Cube. Ooh, see, I can't say that. You can say that. I can't say that.
Yeah, it's
But
best if
Ice,
you're not going there.
no,
Right.
I'm not
I
going.
got it. I'll take care of it. I'll take
Yeah,
care of it.
it's on you.
Got it.
But like for real, like it's so bizarre. It's so like if you live long enough, you see the clay feet of your heroes, right? Like,
Yep.
oh
Right.
my goodness.
Right. Is this the same fuck the police Ice Cube? I'm just asking
Yes.
because
Or even just
kinda
like We Be Clubbing Ice Cube, or like, like
right.
And Bop Dog.
Right.
Bop
One
Dog.
Nation
Give me
Under a
him.
Groove Ice Cube. Like there were so many bangers. There were so many like so many
Now
songs.
he hangs around Steve Bannon begging for Saudi money. It's just amazing.
Because he's trying to keep the 3-on-3 league alive. I watched that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. They had Stack Jack on there. I had a good time watching 3-on-3. And, oh my god! But then he just, what the hell? It's so sad.
Yeah, this is for the record. Before we go, Zach posted a thing on Facebook about wondering why they couldn't put their his wife's Vera Wang china out as a plate for their crows to feed off of, and I suggested and I suggested that he take one of his vintage video game vinyls as a place to put the food, which just went fucking nuts. So yeah,
Oh, is that the comment there?
I think the fucking haters.
Okay. Well, why do we all get lumped in? Why doesn't Doug just get singled out? I don't understand.
I don't know. Whatever.
He's got to lump in the minorities, Zach. Right. And we didn't even do anything, Zach.
Oh my god!
Right. Hey, if you don't order, you'll get shell shocked, Zach. Right. So, y'all need to hit us up about the 40 for 40. If not, we're going to be hitting you up. We're on all the wonderful social medias, including X. What's up, Roberto? You got something else to say?
Hashtag 40 for 40 race. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. And put that in the whatever you're doing.
Yes, and we'll be reposting because it's not retweeting. And
It's retweeting, and I'll be blocking people even when they take the block feature away. I'm gonna figure it out.
And Doug, if you're not against Douglas, you're with him.
Come to me.
I didn't even know it was a thing, Zach. I'm like, what do they call that? Collateral damage or whatever?
Plausible deniability.
Plausible deniability, some bullshit.
Shrapnel.
I didn't even know this was a damn thing. I did see something about Zach was screaming about his wife and something. So I didn't read it because I knew respectfully, I knew it was some dumb shit. Well, Zach's not gonna be like, Zach has, he's.
Oh my god, there we go. That's quite an offer.
I'll give you $100 if Douglas buys a video game soundtrack.
Doug's gonna buy like the Final Four 7 soundtrack on CD.
No. You know what I'm gonna buy?
Halo.
I'm gonna buy the Oregon Trail soundtrack.
Doug, I will record that and sell
Oregon
it to you.
Trail. Oh my god, that's
that
so
game
old.
is
That's so bad that he's brought that up.
Greg straight up died of
Oh
dysentery.
my god, he's like aging himself so hard there.
Oh no,
Hey,
that's...
everybody knows I'm old. I'm good. Hey, there's already a Pac-Man Fever album. It was done by Buckner and Garcia, who didn't just do Pac-Man, they did Donkey Kong and all kinds of fucking classic video game songs that were dumb as shit. Pac-Man Fever was a song in the 80s.
It was, but you know the names of video game soundtrack composers?
Dude, I know a fuck ton about 80s music. I wish I could purge that shit from my brain, and I cannot.
Wow.
Zach is screaming at you in the comments.
My wife was on Jeopardy, and she doesn't know that. Like, that's amazing.
Wow. And Doug used to dance to all this shit too. Imagine that. Yeah. Put a picture to that shit, y'all. Put that in your head. And yeah. What's up, Berto?
I think so when I come on again before 40 for 40, I think we should do 80s pictures. 80s and 90s pictures. I want to see Little Dougie.
Oh, I have
I
some.
want to see Dougie fresh.
I gotta
God
look
damn
that
it.
up. I gotta look that
All
up.
right.
Oh, I got one or two.
Do you realize
I
how
want to
many
see
times
Greg with a Gumby, maybe a line. Yeah, that'd be good.
Did you have a Bobby Brown haircut back in the day, Greg?
Really?
Every little step you take, Greg.
Greg
It
absolutely.
was always
Greg,
like this shit. It was always
Greg
like
absolutely had a Gumby
the craziest shit y'all saw was last year with the
with the
dreads
fro.
and shit.
Yeah, but
That was
that should looked awesome. So
That was a good look,
Yeah.
though.
Nah, it didn't feel great. I'll tell you that.
It was like when Steph Curry had the little fro. That was like the best Steph Curry look too. Yeah, and then what I could do is I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys
Yes.
the pictures of me with the little fro. That'll be
I
fun.
feel that Doug was a Reebok pump guy.
I was not. I was a Nike Flight guy back in the day.
Roberto, you weren't a Reebok pump dude?
Nope.
Dude, I could afford no Reebok pumps. My mom was not buying me those. I was at Payless shoe stores buying 4-stripe Adidas, 4-stripe shell toes.
Yeah, I was working at Hardee's to fucking figure out a way to buy fucking Nike Flights and the cheapest ones.
Hardee's
So
Hardee's was banging back in the day.
We used to call the Payless shoes gumballs because you would go and you'd buy them and you'd skate for like 2 weeks and they get all chewed up and you have to go buy new ones. And then people would try to take the 4th stripe off the fake Payless shell toes. But then they would do fun like things with them, like put them on diagonally, and it was a whole deal. Because when you're skating, no, I was an Airwalk guy. I was Airwalks. I used to get teased mercilessly in 8th grade for my skater shoes. And,
Daniel Fisher, that's good.
That was me. I had the pumps, but I had to buy them.
Yeah,
British Knights. I had some Derek Coleman British Knights. How's that?
BKs.
Yeah, who remembers Derek Coleman?
Yeah, I do. That was one of the most disappointing NBA careers for a guy who had more potential than I could remember.
And I had LA gear with the little twists in the middle, little twist leather in the middle. Joe Montana repped LA gear.
Final words here because I have a date.
Yes.
With Destiny?
That's my final word right there.
Yep.
Donate, run, support. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. We will see y'all next week when we have Doug.
Faye Johnstone, who I think, Berto, you'll be interested in this guest because she is a trans activist in Canada who is featured on a Hershey candy bar that caused a giant boycott because it was like her SHE, and it did like 4 women on their candy bar. And she was one of them, and fucking right-wing fucking lunatics lost their mind because, trans women can't be, how it is. So,
sorry, did you guys see the fucking chess thing though?
Yes, that was ludicrous.
Jesus Christ.
Oh. Yeah. Real quick.
International chess is like trans women are men and trans men are men, and none of them get to compete against who we've decided are women. So like if you originally competed as a woman and transitioned to be a man, then you were, I guess, always a man. But also if you were a man and transitioned to be a woman, then you're still a man. It's fucking like the most ice cream for breakfast fucking bozo logic. It's just the most beautiful example of just fucking bigotry for bigotry's sake. We have to protect the women of chess from the physical dominance of men.
Anyway, yeah.
The best part about that graphic is the dirty glass, Doug.
I know. I saw that too.
Yes. It fits us to be a dirty glass.
Perfect. Dude, it's perfect. When
Yes,
you showed
yes.
me that graphic earlier, I was like, that's spot on.
Doug, what's going on real quick?
All right. So I'm going to go quick. This was my least favorite beer for obvious reasons.
I get it.
Sorry.
I get it. No, I get it.
Yeah. This was second, this was okay. A little bit like a hoppy brown ale. Dark Princess from Necromancer. I did sneak in one, which was something I picked up today, was Paulus Cerebus.
How big is that can? Is the circumference of that can?
Dude, there was this much in the can, and that's why I only had that as a like at the end of it. So this is a crowler. This is a coffee stout from the North Brewery, which is one of my favorite local breweries. It's 10%
like
ABV.
The best coffee stout? Is that the one you had?
Yes, I think this is one of the best coffee stouts I've ever run into. The coffee element is fucking just, it's so prevalent in the nose and the mouth feel, and everything is really delicious. That might be my favorite coffee stout I've ever had. And then this was my favorite thing, was a smoked lager. I just thought that was superb.
My other beers disappeared somewhere, but this is my favorite from Trace Orange Sap. Nice, juicy, orangey. I had that Archer from 11th Brewery, 11th Element, 11th Avenue, something. 11th in Pittsburgh. And then Doug gave me one from Maine that was pretty good, the pub beer. So yeah, I had good ones. Good ones, 3 good ones tonight. Roberto, what did you have? And we will.
I had the Mac Dre beer from Altamont.
Not good.
It was not good. It was not good. Love to Mac Dre. Thiz dance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody has a good Thiz face out there. And then I had the Hella Hoppy, and the Hella Hoppy was good. I would drink it again.
Okay.
But I was late, so I only had the 2.
All right. And on that note, we'll see y'all. We're gonna go out with Roberto here. We will see y'all next week.
Yeah.
Hashtag voted for 40.
Yep.
Yeah, and I gotta figure out where the hell this is. All right, y'all. Enjoy a new outro.
All right.
Cheers.
Bye. Cheers.